A White House Middle East envoy recently indicated President Trump's long-awaited peace plan, if you will, for Israel and the Palestinians will be ready very soon. But that does little to stop the violence that's happening on the ground right now. Peter Bechtold is a professor of political science at Portland State University. Formerly, he served as director of Near East and North Africa Studies at the U.S. Department's Foreign Service Institute. Peter, welcome to the program. What do you make of this latest escalation? How serious is this flare-up?
Well, it is certainly serious from a humanitarian point of view. You know, there are always these multiple perspectives. Israel is looking for security, and to them, Gaza is different from the West Bank, and it is also different from the Palestinians who live inside Israel, the so-called Israeli Arabs. And Prime Minister Netanyahu has used a policy that he has called mowing the lawn. And he said every few years we have to mow the lawn in Gaza. In other words, to put down what Israel sees as a security threat. From the Palestinian point of view, Gaza is an open-air prison. They cannot go out in any direction on land or sea or even by air. And so this is why we had, as your correspondent said, since March, the trial to have a march of return, which of course has not gone any worse. The United States used to play a leading role, but not under the Trump administration.
Well, let me get to that in a moment. I really want to discuss what's happening on the ground on the Israel-Gaza border. How rare is it that the Israeli ground operation that happened, this covert operation, actually went inside Hamas-controlled Gaza?
Well, as far as we know, it is supposed to happen with some regularity. I was very surprised yesterday when I learned that it was near Khan Yunis. It's a place where I have been. It is in the southern part near the Egyptian border. It is not near the Israeli border. It was supposedly to set up some reconnaissance items. And how often they do this, the Israelis claim to do it regularly. It was not known to us.
And how do you get these two sides to back down, Peter? I mean, one side says we're not going to back down until you back down, and the other side basically says the same thing. So where is all this going to go?
Well, as often is the case, what seems like a foreign policy issue is based on domestic problems. Prime Minister Netanyahu has a coalition government that is the most right-wing conservative in the history of Israel. He himself has only 23.4% of the vote, which gives him 30 seats out of 120. And so his coalition this time around is with far-right elements who want to get rid of the Arab threat as they see it by taking over the complete West Bank, where they have to deal with Fatah, and by putting pressure on Hamas, which they see as a larger military threat than Fatah.
Oh, let me get to the Trump administration's policy in the region, led by his son-in-law, Jared Kushner, and Jason Greenblatt, who was recently in Israel, did not with the Palestinian leadership. And he recently said this supposed peace plan between the two sides is going to be published soon. What do you make of the administration's policy, and what do we know about what's in this so-called peace plan?
Well, that's a very good question, because those of us who've been working in the Middle East, in my case for more than half a century, we have not seen the peace plan, and the Palestinians are used to dealing with American administrations that have individuals that are sympathetic to Israel. Now we have Mr. Kushner and Mr. Greenblatt, who are identified ethnically with Israel. And so the feeling is they are not serious about a kind of a permanent plan for peace that is equitable. And until there is this belief that an American or a United Nations organization or perhaps the European Union can come up with a plan that has something in it for both sides, not just the Israeli side, this is going to be very difficult.
All right, Peter Bechtold, we have to leave it there. Thank you. And as